A maker's workshop should be their place of creativity, and mine is kind of trashed right now. So today we're going to be pulling everything apart, reorganizing it and starting from new. So I'll be turning this into this. How'd it look? I actually have no idea right now. This might suck. Anyway, let's get started. Now, before I can get the studio area behind me sorted out, I need to clean up the rest of the garage so I can make a bit more space and really just see what I have to work with. But cleaning's not fun, so let's cut over to the time-lapse cameras, hey, and I'll get the work done.
And so I got to cleaning, and then quickly got distracted by reorganizing, condensing all the boxes in the garage before moving back over to our studio side.
So I'm still kind of in the messy point, but the space is starting to take shape. I've kind of planned out where I want everything, labeled up all my boxes, sort of organized stuff a little bit better. Ideally, this works out so that I can use a few different angles and all of these will look nice while also being practical. I've also got another shelf that I'm throwing down over here, which will be my work in progresses and things like that, just so I can move between activities and have them nice and close by. Okay, things are starting to come together. Now I'm just going to completely reorganize this section here so we have all of our flowery green bits up top and all of our little bits and pieces below.
Really getting in there and organizing all this stuff was great. I've now got everything in the right place so I know where I can find it. I also know what I actually have. There was a lot of stuff in here that I'd completely forgotten about that I probably bought ages ago and just tossed into a box.
Our space is starting to come together. It's still a mess back here that needs a lot more organizing, but we've got our basic idea of resin and chemicals, tools and glues, paints, and then green bits, little bits, extra scrap and scratch building, all those bits and pieces I add onto my builds. But now I'm going to take a break from the cleanup now that we've got most of this area relatively well organized and swap out to our new table. This table has been great, but it's just not really quite doing the trick. It's not perfectly level through the middle, so that causes me issues sometimes, and honestly, it's just not particularly stable.
So this guy gets packed away to be pulled out when is needed. And we'll give everything a quick cleanup before pulling out the new workbench. This is the E7 Pro from FlexiSpot and today's sponsor. Or at least it will be once I've put it together. This thing was super easy to assemble. Probably took me about 20-25 minutes in total, and that's because I kept getting distracted.
So here's where I'm going to shift things up just a little bit. Instead of using the bases that they had given us, I've got some caster wheels that I want to try out. So hopefully I can roll this thing around the workshop.
I just found these on Amazon, making sure that the thread matched. It might just be a little bit long. I could put some spaces in there, but let's test it out in the meantime. Look at that, it's rolling around brilliantly. This is gonna work great in the workshop.
And there we go. It's nice and solid. It's a good size. I would have liked to go the size up, but I only could get what was available. This is it at its base height. Now we just need to power it up and see how high up this can come to see just how good a workbench situation this can be.
While I'm under here setting up all the power, I've got to mention the cable management solution they've got. There's like a tray under here that everything gets pushed up into, and then this magnetic cover that just holds it all together nice and neat. Sometimes it's just those simple little things. And now we have some power, let's test this thing out and see just how high up it can come. I'm a big fan of standing desks for their health benefits, but also as someone who sits at my desk all day in my day job, having the ability to stand while I'm hobbying in the afternoon is going to be so good for my sanity.
Okay. That comes up a lot taller than I was expecting. Okay, so admittedly the wheels probably give it another inch, but we're looking at floor to the top of the desk, just over 54 inches or 138 centimeters. That's tall. That's ridiculous. I love it. And with that, the FlexiSpot E7 Pro is now my new workbench. It not only looks great on camera, but having the ability to lower the desk or bring it back up even higher just means that I've got more options to shoot. So we can bring it down here and we can lower the shot, or I can raise the desk all the way back up and we can bring it back up to this classic shot. This is going to be a lot easier for me for crafting because I would much rather stand while I'm doing my work than sit down crouched over. So being able to get me up and straighten out my back, honestly, this is going to be a game changer for me. Even with the caster wheels that I added on, it is remarkably sturdy. This thing can hold up to 200 kilos, I believe. So let's test that out.
This is by no way a recommended testing method. Do not try this at home. I am not a professional, I'm just stupid.
I'm testing it. It can hold me. Okay, so that works. So we know it can carry a heavy man. I will put this out there that FlexiSpot did send me this desk for free. And honestly, I am stoked with it. It looks great. It is a high quality and it's going to make a big difference for both the practical space and the quality of the workshop, but also the ability to raise it up and bring it down. It's going to give me more options for shooting video, and ultimately it's just going to be better for me and my health. So a big thank you again to FlexiSpot for sending this out, and if you guys want to check them out yourself, I will put the links in my description along with a discount code. And while the desk looks great as is, I need to add a few little accessories to make it more useful for me.
First things first, we need to add a power strip so we can charge things and operate power tools. This will also be a perfect place to run power up to our new top-down rigging. You see, up to now, this is how I've been doing it.
I have a DJI Osmo 3 attached to a woodworking clamp that is attached to the metalwork of my garage door opener.
I have plans for a better top-down shot, so I'll be swapping that camera out for an LED panel so I have a nice fill light. For most people, lighting would really be as simple as a lamp, but for me, in a filming situation, I need to create a lot more of a ambience with my light. So I've got some colored LEDs that I can place around different spaces in my studio, some smaller LED panels to become a fill light and a hair light. Almost everything in the studio is being held together with these clamp arms. They are cheap and super handy for studio setups like this. So right now we're using it to hold up a monitor. So we'll power that up and plug it into the camera.
This is going to be super handy. So what the camera sees, I can see right here. It is a little bit brighter than what the camera's actually recording. I have learnt that over time. But now I'm going to be able to make sure at least that I'm in focus, make sure that I'm recording, that my mic's plugged in, and I'm actually in the shot when I do my filming.
Speaking of different shots, I have this camera attachment from Newer that allows me to get a really nice top down with my phone. So I'm going to attach that as well and have a permanent top down rigging attached to this desk workshop, no matter where I move it in my workspace.
And once I put that up, this entire project kind of came to a pause for the last week. Because you see, with all the growth of the channel recently, we're adding a new team member. You ready to be on camera? Meet Theo. So I wasn't expecting Theo here. You see, my incredible girlfriend went to visit her parents and came home with this little guy in hand. So as you can probably understand, I've been pretty distracted for the last week, mostly with the training around the studio. The goal is to get him operating the lights and cameras for me soon enough. For now, we're just trying to figure out sit.
Do you sit?
But for now, I just need to try and be a little bit less distracted by the training of the new employee and get back to finishing out our tool rack and cleaning up the paint rack. And now it looks like you need a nap, so we'll put you to bed and I can get back to building out my studio. I think I'm going to start off with the tools today. This area is just a total mess right now, but the goal will be to have some pegboard up on the back wall and all of the commonly used and most readily needed tools for my crafting will be available right behind my desk at all times. Nice and easy, and everything will have a place to live. But for right now, this area is a total mess. So I'm just gonna pull everything out of here onto our desk, sort it all out and organize this into a more functional area, and hopefully maybe even figure out just how much and exactly what I have amongst all of this.
I have a bad habit of buying new things when I probably already have one at home, so there's lots of doubling up going on in here. Now we're going to put up a pegboard to organize it all.
I picked up this reversible 1200 by 900 pegboard. We've got white on one side and black on the other. I've used the same kind of board on some of my other tool shelves and they work great. We just need to cut it down to size.
I just stole my measurements from the other shelf that has the same layout, measured it out, marked it down, and came at it with a saw. Terribly. That line is awful. That was a terrible job. I need to focus more. But it's still going to fit. So I double checked that measurement. That works nice. I set up a couple of brackets to hold it in place. Gonna use some screws with some wider heads. These just fit nicely in these bracket notches on the edge of the shelf. Before putting all that in place, so we're gonna swap out the shelf with something that has some adhesive vinyl to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we're just gonna screw this pegboard in place against those wooden brackets.
Really now it's just about going through and organizing all of this stuff.
Store it, set it up, organize it, and just have it as readily accessible for my crafting as I can. Adding hooks to these pegboards and just putting up all the things that I want to be able to grab quickly and easily, it just felt cool. I want more tools on there. For now it's a bit of a mess, but I can't wait to grow and expand on that. Also, I realized I've got so many hot glue guns and they all suck. I really need to get a decent one. The last thing it came down to that I need to organize was magnets and string. String, I have an idea. I'm just gonna throw a dowel straight through these little holes in the shelf, put a little notch in the end so it can hold in place, and that works well holding it there, but we need to just trim this one down. So I'll take that back, cut it off at the end, and it just so happens that the lid from an old cheap acrylic paint fits perfectly, so there's our handle. Now I'm pretty happy with where the tool section is at, but I'm waiting on a few things that are currently 3D printing that'll just finish off those last bits of perfect storage. Since we're waiting, it's time to move on and start tidying up this paint rack section. So time to pull it all apart again. I've collected so many paints over the years and different textures and washes and things that they've sort of just modeled all together. So it's nice going through every now and again and really just sorting these out. I do, however, still need a better solution for paint brushes.
And now, while I love these shelves, they're cheap, they hold a lot, and honestly, they just work really nicely, let's make them a little bit more interesting for my background. After all, this is a crafting YouTube channel. So let's have a little bit of fun with them. The two we'll be focusing on right now will be our paint shelf and the terrain, flocking and flowers shelf. This one's going to be bright and colourful, and this one is going to be covered in lush greenery. So I had some plans of these magnetic removable strips that I could put on each of our areas that would theme them up, so as I move things around I can take the theme with them. But I don't have the time for all that today, so I'm going to cheat it just a little bit and just sort of attach things or paint directly onto it. So we're going to start with the green shelf for now, and for that I got a whole heap of fake plant tiles that you put up on walls and things like that to give us a nice lush environment. And I've also got a big box of fake plants back there that will spread around and really make that shelf look just a little bit overgrown. But first I've just got to clear out some of these swords before I have an accident, and then using some adhesive hooks to stick the green tiles in place.
So I was going to do all that crazy overgrown stuff, but now it kind of just looks so nice. I'm just going to make it look like a hedge growing around the whole top, right along here.
These are obviously the kinds of stages of these builds that most people probably don't need to worry about, but as I am filming in this space, I do want it to look nice as well. I went back to Bunnings a couple more times and picked up more and more of these, just slowly taking over the entire top of the shelf. Then adding back more decoration and just wrapping them in more vines and leaves and adding fake plants to just make this area look lush.
That's going to have to do for the green section for now. I do plan on doing a bit more of this after seeing how good it looks, maybe doing a couple more rows or even coming down the side before eventually going down into some rocks. But that'll have to be in a future video. For now, we're going to be moving back over this side. I can't just have this plain. I do want to do a whole dripping paint effect kind of vibe coming off this, but for now, just to give me a bit more color in my backdrop, we're just going to cheat this and come straight at it with cheap acrylic paints in its current place without even taking it apart. I'm going lazy, but hey, it'll work. Okay, so my idea here is that as I build projects in the future, every time that I'm using paint, I've got a little bit left over after the build. If I put too much down on the plate or something like that, I can just slap it onto this section here and slowly build this up over time, adding more and more colors that are all slowly telling the story of my crafting. Obviously I cheated and added a little bit to start, but I just need to look good for now too. And with that, the first part of this studio rebuild is done. I'm loving what I have got behind me now. We have the dedicated areas for different stages of the build. They're kind of decorated to fit for the most part. That will be expanded in the future. And everything's designed to be far more efficient for me for filming. So we have a top-down shot. I have lights all set up on Bluetooth that I can control and change the colors for, so the studio can change up depending on what I want to film. I just need a few better storage solutions to make some of these backdrops look a little bit nicer. But for now, we have the resin section down this end, which is honestly just a bit of a mess right now. If you've got any ideas for that one, let me know. our tools and glue section. Again, any ideas, please let me know. My paint section, going down through our model paints. Down here we have spray paints and then acrylics and house paints. Up to our greeblies and green bits. These are all our flockings and flowers and grass tufts and anything that I would use to make terrain. Down in here I've got some inks and terrain pastes and flockings and all of my bits boxes down here, as well as some more chemicals and resin bits and all of some random craft stuff. So electronics, tape, stuff to make trees, lights, random craft stuff like ropes and wooden bits and pieces. And then we have all of our decoration. And finally, to bring it all together, we have the new desk. This is the E7 Pro and is going to be an awesome workbench going forward.
Go check out FlexiSpot's website if you're interested in one of your own. They do have bigger sizes, different colors, and even a four-legged option, which would probably be even more solid. I have a link in my description and a discount code for any of you that are interested. And thank you again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this week's episode.
I do have a lot more plans for this studio space going forward. Having one half of a garage is a decent amount of space, but it is still a small workshop. So I've been hunting around and finding inspiration and ideas for different ways to add a bit more workspace and bench tops that can all store away nicely. And I have a few ideas. But by all means, if you've got a cool idea or you can think of something that just would look awesome in this space, please let me know. I'm always looking for new inspiration. As we all know, a workshop is an ever-evolving space. As soon as I think I've got it perfect, I'm going to start something new or get a new piece of equipment or machinery and need to find a new space for it. So I have absolutely no doubt that this is going to constantly change. But for now, I have a new workbench, a clean, tidy, aesthetically pleasing workspace that will really do the trick for what I need. And I'm ready to get back to building my crafts. Till next time, never stop making stuff.
I can't forget about you.